topics. So from Reagan's It's Morning in America to Obama's Yes We Can, presidential campaign slogans can make a powerful statement. This is Joe Biden's No Malarkey. Some people worry this makes him seem a little dated. How many people know the word malarkey? Clap. All right.
The younger couple out there, silent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It must be a Gaelic word, right? It's.
You know, it is. I know this because I Googled just before coming on. Originates in the 1920s, and nobody knows where it comes from, but you're probably old if you're using it.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? No shame. I feel like Biden is on a kick where he's being as relatable as possible.
Yeah.
He did get an interview about his stuttering, which is something he hasn't opened up about before. I thought that was extraordinary.
Right.
So malarkey is maybe part of that. He's like.
Well, it's a new
lovable
word
Uncle
to
Joe.
learn for these youngsters.
The other thing about it is it's okay to be a person who's trying to reach out to old people in this country. Like, I feel like everybody wants the young people, but old people vote in huge numbers. 70.9% of citizens 65 and older turn up, while only 46.1% of 18 to 29-year-olds. So it's okay that he's reaching out to older voters because they come at a higher rate into the ballot box. And I think also, it's okay to say no more malarkey. I mean, I remember it from the first debate that he did in 2008, when he first used the word malarkey. So I don't know, I just think he's leaning into Uncle Joe.
In fact,
it's authentic.
There was an investigative study on this done by the Washington Post years ago. He used the word in Congress more than anyone since the 19th century. So if you're saying,
There you go.
he's being authentic, no, like, I think you're all right. And the other,
That's really him.
The other part I like about this is it's self-deprecation.
Why?
And because I think he's having fun with it. He's like, yes, I use this word a lot, and like he's not ashamed of that. He is who he's his age. I think he should own that. And if you're running as the opposite of a Donald Trump who doesn't know what self-deprecation means, I like that side of Joe. I think we should see it more. In fact, it reminds me, we had Kamala on the show last season, and we all walked away saying she was quite impressive. And I felt like she was who she was on the show. And since the campaign, I haven't seen that version of her since, in my opinion, because oftentimes you can get in a campaign, you're surrounded by people that tell you to be a certain way, to talk a certain way, and you lose your authentic self. And even if you get, if people criticize you for being authentic, at least you're being you.
Well,
I don't know. And that's more important than anything else.
Should he have written no BS?
Maybe. I mean, just to
no
respond
BS.
to your comments about Kamala. I mean, I've met her several times, and I think she's being very authentic. But in terms of Joe Biden, you know, I disagree with everyone. I mean, I just think that, you know, if we think about the last election, one of the reasons that I think that, other than the Russians, that Hillary lost is because so many people sat at home. Estimates are between 40 million and 60 million people sat at home. And a lot of those people were young people because they didn't feel energized by the candidates. And no malarkey doesn't energize anyone under the age of maybe 80. And I think it's really out of touch. I think it's really dated. I mean, my son is 17. He'll be voting for the first time in 2020. He spent his summer on the Hill. He's very politically active.
Who does he
He doesn't
like?
know what malarkey
Well,
means.
now he knows.
Yeah, and
It's a good name for a dog.
He thinks it's pretty. He thinks it's pretty dated.
Come here, Malarkey. Sit.
Next question.
What?
Who is he excited about?
He's certainly not excited about Joe Biden.
Is he excited about anyone?
He's. I don't want to speak for him, but he isn't excited about that.
He's too young to vote anyway.
No, he's going
What
to be
is
voting in
Biden supposed to
2020.
say? Is Biden supposed to say, I'm woke? Like, I'd rather him
what's he gonna
speak
say?
his own language than try and be
but
someone
he
that
doesn't
he's
have to
not.
have no malarkey on the side of his van.
I think it's
And
funny.
the other thing is, even though he has a lot of support, when you really look at the numbers, he's the person that's polling the lowest for younger voters. His base is, you know, predominantly
So wait a
older
minute, Sonny, do you
voters.
think that if he had put something like, you know, like some, I don't even know what the phrase could be.
Just a bet. I mean, we had,
What's
like
a
you
phrase
said,
that-
we had "Yes, we can." We had all of these other,
You know all of them. What is the
wonderful
phrase?
campaign
I mean,
phrases.
they're all pretty bad.
Like
in all
a young
fairness.
person's phrase. Is
Look,
that bad?
I'm not here to like. Campaign slogans come and go. I think there's very few that really pop. Like you're saying, "Morning in America,"
Yes,
hope
we
and,
can.
Yes, we hope and
Yes, we
change.
can
Like,
worked.
I love
yes,
your dad.
there
Wasn't it
once-
like America First?
Of Country First.
Country First,
I mean,
yeah.
again, you don't remember it, so that maybe says that.
No,
that
but- but
it
no,
wasn't
but you
landed
know
that
what
well.
what it
But I
meant,
still
you
say-
know?
What would be a thing he would say?
The thing about him right now, though, is I think it's important to note that he's doing the highest with African-American voters still. After all of this, after all the, oh, he's sleepy Uncle Joe, he's whatever, I showed the graph yesterday. He's Teflon Joe right now. And I think Teflon Joe Trudeau going up against Teflon Donald Trump is something voters, even 17-year-olds, are going to see, and they're going to go in the ballot box, and if he's the nominee, say, oh, Donald Trump or Joe Biden, or I'll stay home. I don't think people being as engaged as they are right now and as scared are going to opt out of staying home on either side. I think this is going to be the most politically engaged election, and it shows from how much people voted in the midterm elections.